Story 1. From time to time my parents would go out on a date night or to a neighbor for dinner and leave me at home alone. They trusted me and knew I was not going to do anything stupid. We lived in a nice area and never had any real crime that I could think of. Just a typical home in the suburbs. And as far as these days go, I just hung out at the house watching football on the TV. I didn't drive yet, so I was kind of stuck here. I tried making the best of it. I really didn't have a reason to leave the house. Then my friend from across the street sent me a text saying, "Who's the guy standing outside your house?" I thought he was joking with me since he knows I'm alone. I texted him back with a question mark. I walked over to the front window of the house to take a look, but no one was out there. I was like, let me call him and see if he was just messing with me. He does like to joke around from time to time. But this time I really didn't find this funny at all. He picked up the phone and didn't even try playing it as a joke. He was serious, saying he saw a guy outside my house that he'd never seen before. Our area we live in, everyone knows everyone. He said the only reason he texted me was that the man was trying to look into the windows. This has me now nervous. At this point I should have called the police, but I didn't. I told him, let me call you back in a little bit. I ended up going back upstairs to my room to play video games. By now it's pretty late, has to be going on 10 p.m. I got up and went downstairs. I decided to make something to eat real fast since I was getting hungry. The kitchen is on the back corner of the house. And I swear I just saw a shadow, and when I turned around, I saw nothing. I'm thinking, don't get all crazy with things running around in my head. I walked into the living room and decided to close all the blinds. The image of someone staring at me from the outside gave me chills. I thought I was just on edge. The shadow I thought I saw could have been a car passing by. But who knows at this point? I was reassuring myself that I was fine and nothing was going to harm me. I finished eating and then went back upstairs to my room. Now it has to be close to midnight. I am just lying in bed watching TV. This late at night there is not much on. Then I realized I had not turned on any of the lights upstairs. The only light was coming from my TV, and now being home alone and the stuff from earlier, I didn't feel safe. I eventually got up and went back downstairs to get a snack. It was more to get up and check things out and make sure all the doors and windows were locked. As soon as I made it downstairs, my feeling felt worse. The paranoia I was feeling I had never felt before. I turned all the lights on downstairs. I started making my way back upstairs, but on my way up the stairs, I stopped in my tracks. I thought I heard what sounded like footsteps. Now I'm getting the freaked out feeling again. I just stayed on the stairway trying to see if I could hear any movement. I decided to make a run for it. I ran up the stairs to my room, closing my bedroom door and locking it and calling the police. I was pretty sure I heard someone else in this house with me. The dispatcher said they would send someone right over, that they had officers in the area from another call. I thanked her and hung up. I called my friend across the street asking him if he saw anything else. He said no, but he went to his front window while we were on the phone. Then he said, "Oh shit." And that's when my heart felt like it was going to drop out of my chest. He said he saw a person coming out of the window on the side of the house and running down the street. He couldn't tell if it was the same guy as earlier. It's so dark out and the person was in a hoodie. I just stayed silent. I was terrified at this point. I finally answered him, "Yes, I'm still here." Right when I said that, 2 police cars pulled up in the front of my house. I unlocked my bedroom door slowly and opened it. I made my way downstairs and ran out the front door. My friend and his family, also a few of the other neighbors, came out to see what was going on. They went through the house, room by room, and found nothing. I told them what had happened, and my friend told them what he saw as well. My neighbor called my parents and let them know what happened and to let them know I was safe and not harmed. After all of this, it didn't lead to much though. Aside from the police saying they were going to search the area for him and follow up with my parents if they found out anything. They did say they had a similar call a few weeks ago about 2 miles from here, where it was the same scenario. There was a young kid home alone and some guy was creeping around outside that house and then going up the front door and trying to convince the kid to let him in. In both cases though, it's not really clear what he was trying to do. I don't know what was going to happen that night, but I'm glad I'm still here in one piece. Only thing that still keeps me up at night is knowing that that person is still out there, stalking someone without them even knowing. Story 2. This happened when I was 16 years old. My parents went out for the night, and it was just me and my dog Rocky all alone. I was texting some friends and watching YouTube videos. As I was typing and chatting away, I heard Rocky barking at something. I figured it might be my parents getting home. I went downstairs to the living room to check it out. It was really dark. I looked through the window and saw only one car in our driveway, so I knew my parents hadn't come home yet. I chucked it up to possibly hearing the neighbor's car door slam, and we live on a busy side road with lots of noise late at night. I went back to texting my friends. I kept feeling like I was hearing noises around, and then Rocky started barking. I was about to get up to calm him down, and then I heard a knock at the front door. I got up and went downstairs, and then made my way into the living room to look through the front window. But no one was there. I was starting to get a little nervous. I was too scared to look into the peephole in case some crazy face was looking back at me. I double-checked to make sure the door was locked. I was about to walk out of the living room when I heard a sound coming from the back of the house. I didn't know what I was about to see or if my mind is just playing tricks on me. I heard the doorknob being played with and someone was trying to open it. The crazy part was you had to jump the fence and then walk around the entire house. Rocky was barking louder. My heart stopped and I was breathing heavy. I ran upstairs to my room and locked the door behind me and Rocky. I got into the closet with Rocky. About a minute later, I heard the front door open. I yelled out and my dad yelled back. I ran out of my room and downstairs into the living room to see them looking at me strange. I told them what had happened. My mom was worried that someone was in the house. My dad spent the next hour searching every corner of the house inside and out with his gun in hand. He didn't find anything. That night, I did not sleep good at all. I was up all night wondering if that person was going to come back. Then the next morning around 9 a.m., there was a knock at the front door. My dad went to answer it, and when he opened the door to find my cousin TJ, he had an envelope in his hand. TJ was an asshole for the most part. He always mistreated everyone in the family and acted very weird around all of us. My mom and I were trying to listen from the other room, and heard TJ saying something like, "I tried to stop by last night to drop it off, but no one was home." I couldn't hear much else. Then I heard my dad slam the door shut. My mom and I peeked out and asked what happened. My dad said apparently TJ had been around the house last night trying to get inside. My dad gave me the envelope and I opened it, and saw a gift card, and the card said happy late birthday. I am just glad we found out what happened. Otherwise, we might have spent time wondering if it had been a burglar or something else. I'm thankful Rocky was there to protect me. I'm still left with so many questions. What the hell was he thinking? Why did he need to drop that card off so late at night? Why wouldn't you try calling before just showing up? I guess we all have the one family member that is a little off their rocker. Story 3. It was right in the middle of summer when this happened. My parents had gone away for the weekend. It wasn't unusual for them to leave me alone for a few days. My mom had left me a bunch of food in the fridge, pulled pork, some pasta, and a bit of cash in case I wanted to order pizza and chicken wings. I wasn't worried at all. I was 17 and had the whole house to myself, and all I planned on doing was staying up late and playing PS5. The first night was great. I stayed up till almost 3 in the morning, gaming, blasting music, eating junk food, and just enjoying the silence. When I finally woke up the next day, it was already past 1 in the afternoon. I've made plans to meet some friends at 3 to play some basketball. So, I jumped in the shower still half asleep when I suddenly heard something. The sound of the back door opening. It makes a very distinct creak when it opens. The bathroom is right above the back door. At first, I didn't even breathe. I stood there just listening for any noises, after about 2 minutes of silence. I tried to convince myself that maybe the wind had caught it or maybe my parents came home early. I got dressed quietly and then stepped down our staircase. I moved slowly, taking one step at a time, trying not to even breathe too loud. By the time I reached the second to last step, my heart was pounding so hard. I paused there, taking a quick breath to calm myself down, and told myself I was being paranoid. There was no reason for anyone to be in the kitchen. I laughed under my breath at how ridiculous I was being. I took the last 2 steps and turned the corner. That's when I saw him. There in the middle of my kitchen stood a man just standing. There 2 feet away from me, staring directly into my eyes with this frozen smile stretched across his face. I don't even know how to explain what I saw. He wasn't moving. Wasn't saying anything, just smiling. But what stuck with me the most wasn't his face, it was his arms. They weren't hanging naturally at his side. It was so wrong looking that it made my stomach turn. I think I stopped breathing for a second. Then before I could even think, I stepped forward and punched him right in the face. It was more of a desperate swing than an actual punch, but the force made him stumble back. I made a dash back upstairs to my bedroom. My hands were shaking so badly that it took me a few tries to turn the handle. Then I pushed a chair under the handle just like you see in movies. I called 911. My hands were shaking so bad, I was barely able to get the words out. The operator was trying to calm me down, asking if I could describe the man, but all I could say was that there was someone in my house and that I am alone. As I sat there holding the phone, I noticed something. The light under my door, it disappeared. I realized he was standing right outside my room. I just sat there staring at the bottom of the door, watching the faint shadow of his feet shifting from side to side. The 911 operator kept saying, "Sir, sir, are you there?" But I was frozen. Every sound, every creak made my stomach twist tighter. After what felt like forever, the light came back. I heard the floorboards creak again, this time slowly moving away. Then silence. I didn't dare move until I heard the banging on the front door and someone shouting police. I took the chair I had against my door and opened it slowly, then making my way downstairs and to the front door. When I opened the door, 2 officers were standing there. They searched the whole house, every room, every closet, but whoever that man was, he was gone. Since then, my parents refused to leave me alone overnight. I still double-check every door and window before bed, and I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night convinced I can hear that creaking again. To this day, the police never found him, and I never got an explanation for who he was or what he wanted.